Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Witch of Bees and Bones. I've really missed you guys. I hope you all have been well. Things have been hectic. I'm not going to make excuses. I also don't want to make a video just because I feel like I should. It's important to me to have something to say when I sit down with you. So I was in Pride. I was in Columbus visiting my friend Julie last week for Columbus Pride. Had an absolute blast with that. Really, truly enjoyed myself there. Incredible experience. It was a nice reset. And I've been back since last Sunday, and then, just kind of hit the ground running. So I also just finished a live stream on Abby the Witch's channel talking about Hearth Witchery. I was super excited to be on another one of her panels. So I will link that down below so you can go watch it and support her channel. I am not tech savvy enough to have figured out how to stream it on mine, but maybe on her next one I will have that shit figured out. For today, I wanted to talk about liminal space and becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. And what I mean about that is, obviously, uncomfortable doesn't feel good. And I think that when we're challenged, our knee-jerk reaction is to solve it as quickly and efficiently as possible. And if we can't solve it, get out of that feeling. And though that makes a lot of sense, because we aren't wired to be uncomfortable in situations, I think there's a lot to be learned in the liminal space of just being, of not fixing, of not retreating, but of just being. And I don't mean wallowing. I can't speak for anyone else, but I've certainly been in situations of, if I've been heartbroken or something terrible has happened, like I wallow for a minute, and but I think most of us have done that. But this is more of an active presence than an active fixing for me. So lately, I've had a lot of things kind of shifting and changing and evolving in my life, and most of it's exceptional and it's fun and it's good. But I love consistency, and change is deeply difficult for me. And so my kind of mantra to myself most recently has been, I need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I need to sit in this and be curious and be inquisitive about what a space has to teach me. And instead of looking at not being in a situation and then trying to get the fuck out of something that's uncomfortable, that space in between of how it feels and what it can teach me and what its purpose is. For me, there's lessons in that. I tend to be a doer and a fixer, and my brain loves efficiency, and I think that sometimes I call rushing through things being efficient. And there's some things that I'm working on that are going to take time. These aren't quick fixes. They're not quick changes. They're not quick evolutions. And instead of trying to rush through them, or like getting to an okay place and then moving to the next thing, I'm sitting with it. And some of it's really fucking uncomfortable, but I'm trying to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I've learned a lot from those quiet moments of trying to not get my brain to scramble to fix it or be efficient or get to the end of something, and that's been really powerful. And so this practice has gotten a little easier, but there are times that it proves harder to do. What I've learned about myself is we hear a lot about nervous system regulation. We hear a lot about fight or flight. We hear a lot about, different trauma responses that we all have. And I've recognized some patterns in myself, and I've recognized that everything doesn't need an immediate action or reaction to it. And it's interesting because being a nature witch, when I'm outside and I'm around plants and animals, I never put expectations on them. I never think, why is that deer standing there? Or why is that snapping turtle laying her eggs there? I always know that animals know best. Oh, there's Elijah. Hi, baby. And so I realized that I put a lot of expectations on myself and on others, and that's not a super healthy place. Because of that, I have a habit of I've heard a popular term of chasing dopamine. And, when you get that hit of something that feels good, you want to do more of it. And without getting too much into detail about it, I spent a lot of my life... Hi, baby. She has a lot to say today. They say fight, flight, or fawn. There's no flight for me, so I'm pretty much fight. And I don't mean in an aggressive way, but I'm always ready to tackle something to get through it and get over it. And so I ended up with adrenal fatigue and then adrenal failure because my adrenals were not managing cortisol because I was constantly stressed out because of certain situations when I was growing up. And I've become very aware of how my body feels when I get that hit of dopamine and then when I get what I call a cortisol dump. And I don't want to make this all sciencey, but it's how I understand my body and therefore my life. So things are supposed to feel good and things are supposed to feel bad, so we know not to do them, and that all makes sense to me. But there's something about my brain, and probably a lot of you, who doesn't love a hit of dopamine? Who doesn't love that, oh yes, that's, the cleaning videos, or the organization videos, or whatever your thing is. And sometimes we find that with other people. We'll have a super stimulating, interesting conversation with someone that was unexpected about a topic that, may not be common or whatever. And so you have this conversation and you just you get all energized and it feels good and your brain lights up. And again, all very natural, all very practical. But if I find myself wanting to chase that dopamine, to feel that again and again and again and again, that fucks me up. And I don't want to feel that way. So I'm working very hard on being present in the liminal space of a lot of things, of situations, of relationships, of life, of communication, of conversation. I've always been comfortable with lulls in conversation. I don't feel like I need to fill the room up if somebody's being quiet. I like quiet times. But when it's about internal dialogue in my head, it's a little less comfortable because there's always a lot going on inside my head. And so part of what I've been working on is just being present and just sitting with it and seeing what a situation has to teach me, or what perspective I could see this as, or what I can glean from this. And in theory, being present and, quote, just being seems like it should be the easiest thing in the world. All I have to do is be. All I have to do is just be present. It's exceedingly difficult when you're used to going full speed ahead all the time. And it's been challenging. Sometimes it's been really fucking hard, but it's also been rewarding. of when I'm able to get to that space, I'm able to take that breath, and I'm able to take that step back, and I'm able to make a clear observation of something. I'm an Aries. I'm passionate. I get heated. I also loathe arguments. I don't really participate, and I will. I'm happy to have really hard conversations, but I don't want to scream at each other. I don't want to be shitty to each other. I just want to like communicate openly. But I've realized that I don't need to respond immediately. I don't have to have an immediate action or reaction to anything. I can take a minute and I can think about it, and I can think about how it made me feel, why it made me feel that way, how I want to react, if I want to react. And that has been really powerful to integrate this ideology and this practice of how I treat nature and animals to also treat myself that way and make the liminal space of things more expansive. And because I want to by choice. And so that's just something I wanted to share. I know this is a little rambly. I always say that. My videos are always rambly. But I'm becoming more comfortable with the liminal space between things. It doesn't have to be one or the other. There's the middle space. There's that beautiful, misty, liminal space that I tend to rush through in one direction or another, and I've really been embracing just being present in that when it shows itself to me. And I think that there are lessons to be learned there. And I think that if it's happening to me, with me, and for me, it's probably happening to others, because there's not a lot of unique experiences any longer in this world. So I just wanted to share that and offer that when you're in the middle of something, and this doesn't have to be, minor or catastrophic, it can be the liminal space in between, that if you can, take a few breaths and see how you feel and where it's coming from and what this situation is teaching you and how you want to act or react or not. I've learned through this process that not everything needs a reaction. Not everything needs to have an immediate conclusion just to get to the other side of it. And I think that part of that was my conditioning of the, fight, flight, or fawn, and I'm like always trying to be efficient. So I hope this makes sense. It's just something that's been on my mind. It's something that I've been practicing more lately. And I feel really good about it. It's hard. And so kind of by making this video, I'm hoping that it makes sense to other people, but also I'm holding myself accountable in certain ways, because I put it out there to a community that means a great deal to me. So I appreciate all of you so much. I'm really hoping to be more consistent with my videos. I've had a couple people reach out and let me know that they miss my consistent uploads, and I absolutely appreciate that, and it's something I want to work on. But as I said, I only want to make videos when it's authentic. I never just want to sit here and not have something to say that's real to me, or something to share. I also don't want to stress myself out. I'm working really hard on this thing called balance that I suck at or have sucked at in the past, and I'm trying to get a good balance between career and life, and I'm trying to be a little more social than I've been in the past, because I can easily not counting my work and my business, but if without that, during the pandemic times, I can stay in my house and not and be very happy for days, if not weeks at a time. And so I've been working on being less of a recluse and spending more time with the people I love, and having impactful, important conversations, and finding the right people, where we're not doing the small talk, oh, the weather, and oh, the whatever sports team. It's like, worst fears and what we're currently working on emotionally, and all of this, because that's the space I really like to be in, and those are the kind of people I like to surround myself with. And I think that just like it's important that we are mindful about the things we put in our bodies, we need to be mindful about the people and areas that we're around, because it has an impact on us. And those people that I spend my time around make it safe for me to be in liminal spaces, because I don't always have to be on high alert any longer. And that feels really, really good. And I'm deeply grateful. So thank you, everyone. I will be back soon, and I will link the live from Abby's channel down below, so you can go check that out. We had a really nice time, and I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments and reaching out, and I respond to all the comments. My Etsy shop is back open again, so feel free, if you would like an oracle card reading, to reach out there. I will link it down below, and I'll be back with you soon. I would love for each of you to see something, smell something, taste something, hear something beautiful today. I really, really believe in my bones that beauty helps sustain us. And I don't mean that in a vanity way, but if we just see something beautiful, it helps our brains and our nervous systems. So it was great to sit down and chat with you again, and I will be back soon. Thank you so much, guys.